with Fennec Gaming, and I'm here just showcasing my North Carolina Celebrations deck profile. I placed 20th at the event, and I was speaking with Anthony, and he said that he really enjoyed some of the deck choices that I made. So I figured we would record a deck profile and we put it up on the All About You channel for you guys. So just get right into that. So I've actually played Janemba for the event. A lot of you guys probably know the effect of the leader already, but you can't have any battle cards 5 or higher in the deck. The auto, whenever you swing with the leader, your opponent mills 2 and then you draw 1, and you untap 2 energy when you awaken. On the backside, when you attack, your opponent mills 2 and you draw 1, and you get a once per game negate where you pitch a blue card, which obviously has its strong implications as well. So as for the deck, a lot of it's pretty standard, so I'm playing 4 Psyche Demon. Psyche Demon just allows me to search the top 7 for a Janemba or the bottom 1. So if I place Childish Heart Janemba, which is the next card here, if I place that at the bottom of the deck to search any of my other big 4-drop Janembas so that I can mill my opponent's deck faster, I can end up recycling it with Psyche Demon just to mill a little bit quicker. And then I have 3 Janemba Agent of Destruction. The new Janemba from set 6, still critical, no deflect. At the end of the turn that you summon it from the warp or your hand, you untap 1 energy, and then activate main, send this card to your opponent's warp, you draw 1, and then they mill 3. So obviously really great, you mill them 1 card faster, and it helps you regain advantage in the mirror as well if they can't see it as early. Then, similar to previous Janemba decks, we still have Demon Sword Janemba. We have that 3, critical deflect, activate main, they mill 2 cards, and then you warp a battle card that can be targeted. And then I played 2 Reality Bender. If my opponent is at 4 energy and they have a battle card, then his cost goes down to 1. So easy on their 4 energy. Even if you're on 3, you can play it. You can play this from your hand for 1 to be able to try to mill them a little bit sooner, and it still has critical and deflect, so it's still really strong. One tech choice that I made was Awakening Talent Pan. I've seen other profiles using this as well. Mainly for me, my choice was decks that don't want to awaken you. Specifically, I was scared of Prison Frieza. I know that I already have a strong matchup against Prison Frieza just because I can win with my leader skill, but not being able to see any of those cards in life can sometimes be very detrimental. So I made sure to run some type of main deck Self-Awakening that could also aggro a little bit as well. And then I have 2 Borgos. Borgos is 1-drop draw card. Auto once per turn during your opponent's turn. If they switch any energy to active mode with a non-awakening skill, then I just get to choose one of their energy and place it into the drop. Obviously super strong skill, but just more so for me, it was blue energy that let me cycle and see more cards, and then I can combo it off in defense and things like that. But if they were playing anything that could affect untapping, unyielding, Sensu Beans, other blue decks, mirror matches, things like that can kind of slow them down a little bit. So I chose to main deck 2 of those. 3 Kami. Kami seems pretty staple in Janemba decks at this point from what I've been seeing. However, I felt like 3 was really, really strong. I would actually change one of these, and I'll go over that in a little bit, some of the deck changes that I would make, but pretty self-explanatory. I'm pretty sure everyone knows what it does. But 1 for 3k, when you place card, draw a card, and you can tap 2 colorless. If your opponent has 4 battle cards on the board, you just wipe everything 4 and under on both players' boards. I played 2 Overwhelm cards, Supreme Kai of Time, Light's Guide. Dahan and a couple other people started running this. I really like the tech choice. You can combo it off. If you don't really want to swing with it and play aggro, if they don't have something, you can help. If you do need to swing with it, you can try help clearing their board state or going aggressive if need be, but it just lets you see extra cards or get higher on the leader swing if need be. Because we're playing the 2 Overwhelm cards, switch to North Kai Keeping Watch, so no Sparking Super combos this time. I honestly really liked this, and I liked it in the mirror as well. So this way you can charge it later in the game in the mirror, so you're not drawing extra cards. But in the early game, you can combo it without needing to draw to get out of critical and things like that. So this way they can't hard aggress you later in the game. I was running 3 Unbreakable Sun Gokus, and I'll just put them here as well, 4 Infernal Villainy Cells. I know a lot of people play like 4/4 or just 6 of them. I would actually drop this too, which I'll go over here in a minute. I really liked them, but in the mirror they can be super detrimental, because obviously you don't want to be drawing cards, so then you just have a bunch of dead cards. But in other matchups, obviously really great card. I think everyone in Janemba at this point is basically playing 2 FDC because you're running so many criticals. So I continued with that fashion. It did help a lot. I think I only resolved it in 2 matches in 6 rounds for singles, so it wasn't a huge thing, but it still allowed me to, in the mirror match, combo out of critical damage without having to draw a card with like Unbreakable and Cell, Infernal Villainy Cell. So still really good and has its good aspects. So first tech choice that I had in the main board was 2 Godstrike Beerus. A lot of people have been keeping their eye on this card because it's probably one of the stronger cards in set 6. When you combo with this card, choose up to 2 or up to 1 of keyword on an opponent's battle card and negate it for the duration of the turn. So it has a 2 for 10 cost on the combo, but you can negate quad strike, you can negate critical, you can negate triple attack. They'll still restand for the next swing, but they won't get the 3rd attack. So you can combo any of these things. You can even remove barrier and then remove something. So on your turn, you can swing with lead, combo Godstrike Beerus, remove barrier, and then summon Demon Sword and warp something. So you have a lot of really, really strong implications with this card on offense and defense. If you're facing Prison Freeze and they swing at you with Quad Strike and Dump Hand, or if they swing and combo FDC, 1 instance of FDC to give them double strike so that they would win the game, you can just tap 2, remove double strike, take 1 card, and then they have no hand. So really, really, really strong tech choice. I've seen a lot of people side it. I had a lot of good moments in game 1 because they didn't expect that card. Pretty much staple blue card and Dimension Magic, our Sparking Negate. I still do, you have to be a little bit more careful because you're playing Supreme Kai of Time, Light's Guide, but you still can activate the Sparking as well. You just have to be more cautious about your discard pile when you're doing so. I'm playing blue, so Sensu Beans makes sense. You get to just extend your plays on offense if they don't have something like the Borgos, or if they didn't play Tien. And then on defense, you obviously can protect yourself really well against Storm and things like that, so really, really important. So then the last tech choice that I have in the main deck is actually Father-Son Gallic Gun. So earlier I mentioned that you can do things with Godstrike Beerus. So me and Anthony were talking about this in round 6. He was sitting next to me and he was playing his Janemba list. And afterwards I was doing the Janemba mirror and we were talking about tech choices in the main board. And I told him that these cards are not the best for the Janemba mirror, but in every other match going into set 6, these did so much work. Round 2, I played Broly BR, and on turn 2, he got into the 6-drop. Well, I had a 3-drop Janemba, and on board, and I charged my 3rd energy. I Father-Son Gallic Gun the 6 back to his hand, summoning the 8, and then he summoned the 8, so I tapped 1 blue, and I ended up demon sorting and warping the 8, so I got rid of it. And just in case anyone doesn't know what this card does, it's a 2 with 1 blue, activate main, choose one of your opponent's battle cards and return it to their hand. Any cards underneath the stack go to the drop. So it's obviously they get the card back, so he had the 6-drop Broly back in his hand, but he had to restart the whole chain, and I warped an 8-drop. So it's it can be a really strong tech choice. If you end up getting Prison Frieza gains more steam, then you can get out of the 8-drop Frieza, and they would have to resummon the 7-drop Frieza and then summon the 8 again, forcing them to have that 7-drop again. And obviously you're milling them and stuff, so there's chances that they just don't have that. But you just get rid of it so that way you can summon other things. Just get out of a lot of threats. 6-drop baby, anything like that. You're only tapping 2 energy, so it gets rid of those things. And then again, Tien, this actually works with Tien as well. So Tien is a big harp against blue decks, so you can't untap your energy on the turn that they play it. So you can actually God Strike and then Gallic Gun it back, so you're going to have to deal with it again, but you can get rid of it. But there's different things like that. If you need bodyguards, or not bodyguards, deadly defenders, you can God Strike the barrier, bounce it back. You can God Strike and then warp it. So a lot of implications on the main board removal in the variant that I played. So sideboard actually was pretty terrible. I threw it together last minute, but it helped. So 2 Toki Toki, and then I did 2 Krona and a Dende with that. So I'm already mainboarding the 3 Kamis, so if I needed the board wipe, I had it. But if I faced yellow, I had the Krona and the 1 Dende and the 2 Toki Tokis to search them to make sure that I see them in the matchups that I want to see them. I sided the Kronas and the Toki Tokis twice. I never sided in the Dende. I don't know if maybe just matchup preferences for me, but yeah. Then I did 2 Striving to be the Best Gokus. I was really worried about Storm as well, so I went pretty hard on defending against that. So I did 2 Crisis Crusher, 2 Striving to be the Best Gokus. Obviously 1-drops can't attack from either player, and your opponent can't attack with 2 drops or less. So, and then you can pop 1 drop. So in the mirror, I summoned this in and popped Psyche Demons early. He summoned a Psyche Demon on his first turn, and then I went, summoned Crisis, and just popped it so that he couldn't turn to 3-drop Janemba. Just different plays like that. So this has a lot of versatility as well. And then I sided this in, obviously, against Storm matchups. Or just, I sided it in against 2 different Pan matchups as well, so I didn't have to deal with 1-drop Trunks. Ready Stance Son Goku, 2-drop barrier blocker, obviously has a lot of really strong implications just because he has barrier as well. He has a 2-drop, so he can still be popped by Krillin, like double shot Krillin and things like that, but the decks that you want a barrier blocker on board, they tend not to have the direct removal, so always really good to just have that available. And then 2 at all cost Vegetas in case that, in the mirror, this was really strong. You can defend yourself early, and then once you whittle them down to 3, if they're not doing the same, you can bait out their leader negate with the triple strike if it's going to swing for lethal, and then if they can't remove it, like if they don't have a demon sword available or anything like that, then they have to deal with it the following turn, or if you just have the second one. And then in some matches they just don't have the negate for it, so that's really good. And then obviously 2 Mafuba for obvious Mafuba reasons. The counterattack, it negates the attack and then places it on top, so even if they swing and it can't be negated, you just kind of remove them from the battlefield, which is always really good. And make sure everyone knows Mafuba does not trigger the Broly BR chain, so it removes the card, but the skill doesn't go off. So really good against that matchup as well. Cards in the side deck that I would change, 2 Toki Toki and the Dende, I would have made those 3 Tiens, or 3 Mercenary Towels, sorry. 3 Mercenary Towels. I got absolutely thrashed in a hand destruction match, and the Mercenary Towels would have been incredibly clutch to have, but I just didn't have it. Main deck changes I would have made, I would have changed to 4 Childish Heart, and I would have went down to just 3 Infernal Cells. In the mirror, again, these ones are not the best. In other matchups, they're great. And then this is important to have in the mirror, have 4 of. Plus, it's just more blue energy. Something I noticed is I had too much non-blue in the deck. So sometimes I would run into issues where I can't leader negate because I don't have a blue in hand after like a Gogeta or something like that, a Gogeta 7. So that would be the only main board change that I would make. But other than that, that's the deck profile, and those are the changes that I would make. Overall, the tournament was really, really great. 6 rounds. I played Pan first round. That went pretty well. Second round was Broly BR, like I mentioned. I outed the chain twice, so there's not much that he could really do. Round 3, I played Pan again. Round 4, I played Yellow Dende Leader. That one was pretty rough game 2, but game 1, he got super unlucky with his burst, so he didn't get any Dragon Balls. By the time he awoke, he had 13 cards in deck, so that kind of sucked for him. Round 5, I got thrashed by Lord Slug on stream, so that was really fun. And then round 6 was the mirror. I need to definitely learn the mirror a little bit more. However, the situation was great. I loved the entire tournament. Ergy did a fantastic job. I placed 20th. I got the lovely playmat that you saw on the profile. Other than that, I think the tournament was really, really great, and I really enjoyed it. And, you know, thanks for having me on the channel, Anthony, and I really enjoyed our talks. And as always, this channel is all about you.